Hello, everyone, and welcome to another learning session here at the Georgia Department of Education, and we're in the Community for Music Technology. This is episode 2 in our discussion on arts integration. In episode 1, we talked about integrating arts within other arts classes, so combining music technology and the different art classes together to be as successful as possible. And this time, we are going to get into talking about how to combine music technology with your core classes. Oh no, don't do it. Why would you ever? No. Come on, this is like the most fun you can have, right? To some of you it might be, to some of you it might not be. But getting your music technology students in your core classes serves several purposes. One, it gives your music technology students a little bit more chance to have that real world experience that we're all craving for these students. We want them to have that real world opportunity to have a job and fulfill the requirements of that job. Anytime we have a customer that is outside of the teacher themselves, we are gaining more sense of real world experience. And that is one thing that I definitely like for my students to have as often as possible, that experience of completing a job for a customer. So what are some ways that we can get our music technology students into these core classes and help benefit both classes? Well, jingles and mnemonic devices are two really great ways to be able to get this integration to start happening. So I've had several opportunities with the math department here at my school to be able to come in and have the students that are in the class write some lyrics, and then that's their way of memorizing this mathematical formula or function or whatever the object is they're trying to memorize. And we either create a beat that they can put it over top of. So we might create some drum beats with a little bass line after hearing what their jingle is going to sound like. And we slap all that together and let them come in and record their final product to be able to turn into their teacher. Or we can do a little bit different and have the student in the different class add beats and lyrics to something that have already been written. Generally, we like to do it with the beats and stuff writing going first, and then the students putting the music to it afterwards. But you can kind of have fun playing it either way. It don't matter. It ain't nothing but a thing. So fun to be able to have these mathematical jingles and hip things, and the students think it's so cool when they get them to come in and work with the real microphones and hear their voice produced for the first time. And what better drawing card to bring students into your program than to have them get excited to be in your classroom and work with the technology that you have in your room. So super big fan of jingles and mnemonic devices. I'm fortunate enough to have a videography class here at my school. They make tons of movies all the time. They produce TV shows. They produce all sorts of stuff, even get nominated for student Grammy Awards and stuff with some of their videos. All the time, they are looking for royalty-free, copyright approved music to include in their movies, which is a big part of the movie making scene. So a lot of times my students are working with this class to create music to put behind a photo montage, or we might make a music video together, or the news show needs opening music to go with their spiel. You know, they'll have like an intro video. It's like 22 seconds long, and it's my students' goal to make that exciting, hip, fresh, bring in the video characteristics into the audio, and help enhance that using the audio. So all fun ways. And hey, you can also work with the students in both classes to train them how to most effectively record a news broadcaster or reporter in a way that makes the audio clear, accessible, easy to hear, all of those things. So you can talk about mic placement, which mics to use. All of that kind of stuff goes into that category. So it's a great way for students in both classes to be able to excel and get that real world experience. In that same vein, it's a really good opportunity for your class to give back to the teachers at your school. In this digital age that we are living in now, because of the pandemic and other things, a lot more teachers are providing content via YouTube or via other video streaming services. Lots of these teachers would love to have a little bit of music play behind their video for whatever function that they're serving. Most of the time, it's hard to find royalty-free music that sounds good, and your class can be the place to do that. As your students complete projects, if they are of a good enough quality, create like a Google Drive folder or a OneDrive folder or whatever service your school subscribes to at this point, and let teachers have access to that. And when they need to put music behind their videos that they're posting on YouTube, they can go in there and find something that fits whatever feeling they want to go with their product that they're putting out on YouTube. So having that open source folder for the teachers is a huge way. They get excited about what they're hearing your students play. They're getting excited about what you're doing. They talk about it with the students. Again, another great way to grow the excitement around your program. Study music. This is another one. We do a really fun project with my beginning students that is called the Relaxation Music Project. I always try to get them to do something that they would hear in a spa or like while they get a massage or stuff like that. So we use a lot of pentatonic scales and pentatonic harmonies. So we create this album of relaxing lo-fi type music, and teachers love using that to play in their classrooms during like writing prompts or study time or whatever. It's just smooth. It's got some nice easygoing nature sounds in it. Hopefully relax students and get their creative juices flowing while they're working in their other classes. Love having this. Put this out there in Google Drive or SoundCloud or whatever you want to give your teachers and students a chance to hear your work. Podcasting. This is the biggie. This is the modern heavy-hitting way to integrate your music technology classroom with the other classrooms in the school. So if you're not familiar with this, from the core teacher standpoint, you want to have them group their students into small groups of 2 to 4, depending on, could be 3, could be 4. Depending on what their classroom is, it might work out easier than others, but 2 to 4 seems to be about the best size. And they're going to have their students research a particular topic that relates to their subject. And what the students are trying to create is a script. So the students will write a script where one student is the interviewer asking the intelligent questions and providing commentary, and the other person is the expert, the top person in their field, and the response that they are going to voice act, because they're not just winging this off the top of their head. They don't know the material that well. But the response that they're going to give is how they're going to share the material they've learned about the subject that they're presenting on. So, like I said, you need the role of an interviewer and you need the role of the expert, and the script should demonstrate the important information that they're going to convey about that topic. And then the students will voice act their different parts of the script. It's really important to use the word voice act. I have to use this several times in my classroom, and since I've started saying this instead of the word read, I get a lot better results. The students need to understand that it's not just sit there and read a piece of paper, but they actually need to put inflection in it, have some fun with it. Oh, no, I can't have that. No, they need to be actors. They need to be engaged in the material and presenting it in a fun and innovative way. So that's the core side. Now, from the music tech side, you're going to assign a student or multiple students to a group of podcasters from the core class. They need to have a planning meeting where both classes come together and the students discuss the design and inspiration for this podcast. Then the music technology students are going to need to set up the studio and be ready for multi-track voice recording in such a way that it really brings this activity to life. In the end, they're going to have to edit the recordings, provide the appropriate audio effects to enhance the audio and make it very clear and understandable. And then you can have them create a 20 to 40 second like intro sound bite or add music throughout as is necessary, or different sound effects and stuff as it is necessary for the specific podcast that they're working on. So these are all important skills and techniques to help bring out the podcasting experience from the music tech side. If you didn't want to do this for a whole class, I know a lot of times we have departments or groups of same classes that all work this together. One thing you could do is, if you didn't have enough music tech students to facilitate like an entire department that was doing something similar, like the biology department as a whole, that's like 7 different classes, have a winning podcast from each class, and the winning podcast in that class earns the right to come to the music tech studio and do their podcast a second time and make it this really happening thing. So that could be a way to integrate that in a little bit different light. So that is some various different activities that you can do with your core classes to help integrate and infuse music technology into all parts of your school. Now we've done the arts and we've done the core classes. So come on back for part 3 next time, which we're going to talk about how to infuse music technology into your community. I hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you next time.